everybody, and welcome back to the On the Diamond and Into the G podcast. Today, we are back on May 13th for episode 68 of the podcast. Mariners are on a 4-game losing streak. As they enter Game 2 tonight against the New York Yankees, we have a big matchup against Max Fried, Brian Wu on the bump. I will be there sitting in the 300 level about halfway down the first base line. But the Mariners, they drop Game 1 to the Yankees. A tough performance. Overall, lineup scored a few runs, but Emerson Hancock got a little bit lit up, had one real tough inning. We'll begin just talking about that, and then we will get into some farm system stuff. Today and tomorrow, we'll be both talking about the farm system. The Mariners have 9 prospects in MLB Pipeline's updated top 100 list. We'll be talking about the top 4 today, and the other 5 will be talked about tomorrow. But to begin with, let's talk about Game 1. Starting pitching. This is just a general point. Starting pitching has been a problem lately. You have one starter that you can really trust right now, and that's Brian Wu. And Brian Wu gave up 5 runs last time out. I don't see that really happening again tonight unless the Yankees just jump all over him. But overall, there's not a whole lot of guys you can trust just because George Kirby, Logan Gilbert are injured. But you don't know what you're going to get from Emerson Hancock night in, night out. You don't know what you're going to get from Luis Castillo night in, night out. You don't know what you're getting from Bryce Miller night in, night out. You don't know what you're getting from Logan Evans night in, night out. So it's been a tough stretch. And, for a team where pitching is their strength, it's been a problem. And it's been weird to see. And I'm not saying it's going to continue to be a problem because I think that you will see Bryce Miller start to bounce back in. You'll see Luis Castillo hopefully start to bounce back. And as soon as you get Kirby and Gilbert back, you're going to see a lift in terms of this rotation because you are going to remove 2 of those 4 guys that have been struggling, and it'll likely be Logan Evans, Emerson Hancock, unless Bryce Miller goes on the IL for a period of time. But really, you need Bryce Miller and Luis Castillo to find their form. They need to become the guys that they can and are. I mean, the guys that can be are really good starting pitchers. So can they do that? One thing just on last night, prayers up for Oswaldo Cabrera. Really gruesome, brutal injury in the 9th inning of last night's ball game. Don't want to touch too much on it, but you don't often see an ambulance come onto the field at a baseball stadium. So prayers up to him. Hopefully he's doing well. It sounds like it's a fractured ankle. 6 to 8 weeks. And then good to see Julio Rodriguez, Cal Raleigh, Jorge Polanco all homer last night. But again, you do need the pitching staff to sort of lock in and find their form. One other piece of news, Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, both eligible for the Hall of Fame allegedly now. They have both been reinstated by Major League Baseball from the ineligible list. Some pretty big news there in baseball just in terms of sort of some interesting, fun news. You can have your opinion on it. I think it's great to see, especially Shoeless Joe Jackson, have that opportunity. Pete Rose, obviously, there's a lot to uncover there between his gambling and the stuff that went on with women and women underage. There is a lot to unpack there, and he's not the greatest guy in the world, obviously. But to see Joe Jackson finally sort of get that opportunity is really good to see. And that's personally something I'm excited about. I wrote a long paper about it last spring, so to see sort of that happen about a year later is really fun, really interesting. But into the Mariners, 9 prospects in MLB Pipeline's top 100. Absolutely, utterly insane, as they also do have the 3rd overall pick. So you could see them with 10 guys in the top 100 easily after the draft. The top 4 of those guys we will be talking about today. At 19th overall, Colt Emerson. 36th, Laz Montes. 43rd, Cole Young. 64th, Felnine Celestine. 67th, Harry Ford. 82nd, Johnny Farmello. 83rd, Michael Arroyo. 92nd, last year's first-round pick, Jurangelo Sainja, the switch pitcher. 96th, prep arm from last year, second-rounder Ryan Sloan. Let's talk about Emerson, Montes, Young, and Celestin today, so let's get into it. Colt Emerson, Laz Montes, both at High A Everett. Cole Young at Triple A Tacoma. Felnine Celestin at Single A Modesto. To begin, we're going to talk about Colt Emerson. He's played 30 games this season. He's hitting 276, 386, 388. He has a 110 WRC+. He has 2 homers, 2 triples, 3 doubles. His walk percentage is up from last year. However, his strikeout percentage is down slightly. In terms of what he did last year, he hit 225, 331, 317, 85 WRC plus, 2 homers, 5 doubles, 0 triples in 29 games at Everett. He's through 30 games this year. His WRC plus is up to 110 from 85. He's hitting 276 instead of 225. On base 386 instead of 331. Slugging 388 instead of 317. Big improvements. He also has 2 triples instead of none last year. Good to see. Same amount of homers. His walk percentage, like I said, is up about 2.7 if you want the precise number from last year in these 29 games. Or in these 30 games. His strikeout percentage is down about a single percent from last year. The thing is, there are some strong splits versus left and versus right. Emerson's a left-handed hitter versus lefties. He's hitting 217, 333, 348 versus righties 290, 398, 398. That is in a pretty small sample size against lefties, specifically 223 at bats versus lefties, 93 versus righties. I think to see a promotion here, you're going to need to see him get into his power, which is very possible. It's been happening more as of late, especially in May. And you're going to need to see those extra base hit numbers jump up and strikeouts go down a little bit. And then you will see that promotion to AA, where he will be very, very young for that level. Lazaro Montez, also at high A Everett right now. He is having a great season, hitting 276, 401, 578 slug in 31 games, 17 extra base hits, 6 doubles, 4 triples, 7 home runs. His walk percentage is up 2% from last year, up from 15 to 17%. His strikeout percentage is down 3% from 29.6 last year to 26.8 this year. He played 51 games at Everett last year. He's through 31 so far this year. He has a 153 WRC plus. He's learning to slug, but he's striking out still quite a bit. So if he can limit and cut down on those strikeouts, you're going to see some success. Unfortunately, he did also, though, have 2-3 strikeout games over the weekend. So tough series for him over the weekend up in Everett. But that's just a series. You can see him bounce back. Those were only his second and third 3 strikeout games of the year. The first and only other one was on April 20th. He's been striking out a little bit more lately. He has 15 Ks in the 8th game since the start of May, and just 4 extra base hits during that stretch. But overall, the season looks really good, and you're going to have your ups and downs. So will he continue, and can he improve is the question. Cole Young, over in AAA Tacoma, down south of Seattle. 38 games, he's hitting 236, 349, 368, a 93 WRC plus. His BABIP is significantly the lowest of his career. He doesn't have a BABIP under 300 in the minor leagues, and he is BABIPing at 271. So look for him to start getting some of these base hits, and it's starting to happen in May. Over the course of his whole season, he has 7 doubles, 3 triples, 2 home runs. But since the start of May, he has 4 doubles, 1 triple since the start of May, and both of his homers are also since the start of May. During that stretch, he also has more walks than strikeouts. 4 walks during that stretch, and just 3 strikeouts during that stretch. His walk percentage overall is down a little bit from 2024 as he moved up, and his strikeout percentage, though, is also down. He's down from 15.8 strikeout percentage to 14.2. His walk percentage is down from 12.1 to 11.2. You are seeing the guy figure out AAA Tacoma lately, and it's exciting because this guy is one step away from the big leagues. He continues to figure that out, continues to work, continues to hit the way he's been hitting over the past week and a half, and all of a sudden you see this guy maybe pushing for a spot on the major league roster because he's that close. And this guy, according to MLB Pipeline, is the 43rd overall prospect in Major League Baseball. He has the potential to be a starting second baseman at the MLB level, and that in itself is really, really exciting. And last but not least, let's talk about Felnin Celestin. He is at single A Modesto. He's played 26 games. He's had a few injury things, but overall, not as bad as it was last year. In those 26 games, he's hitting 300 with a 355 on base, 409 slug. He has an 8.3% walk rate, a 17.4% strikeout rate. He has 7 extra base hits. He is striking out at a lower percentage than he did in the complex league, however, still striking out a little bit. In the 8 games since the start of May, he's hitting 286 with 3 extra base hits. However, he is barely walking, and he's striking out quite a bit more, 25% strikeout rate. In terms of Felnin Celestin, what does he need to do to get promoted? He needs to walk more. He needs to strike out less, and he needs to show that he can just kill the damn baseball. Hit for some power, hit for doubles, hit for homers from both sides of the plate, as he is a switch hitter, because this guy has maybe the highest ceiling in the entire Mariners farm system. He has the potential to go out there and play starting shortstop at a high level every day. That is the potential that Felny Celestine has if he can tap into it. And if he stays healthy, I think he has a very good chance of doing that. This guy's nickname is the Phoenix, if you don't already know, and he has high potential, and it's exciting to see. Lastly, I do just briefly want to touch again on tonight. We talked about it yesterday. Max Fried, Brian Wu. Max Fried, first in ERA in baseball, 12th and 5th, 6th in WHIP, 10th in ground ball percentage, 17th in walks per 9, 15th in home runs per 9. He has 3 shutouts already this season, and he's getting deep into games. This is a serious test for the Mariners. It is a chance for them to bounce back against a very, very good starter, but this is not going to be as easy, and it is an opportunity for the Yankees to go win a series in Seattle in 2 games with a chance to sweep tomorrow against the Mariners and Luis Castillo. Tonight is a game you need, not just for the series, not just because you need a win every game, but because of vibes. You drop 5 straight at home, heading into a start with Luis Castillo on the mound, and you're not feeling pretty. You need to win tonight's game. It's a massive one. I'm going to be there. Let's bring the energy. Let's be loud. Let's out-ruckus the Yankees fans. I've never seen the Mariners beat the Yankees. It's a good time for that. But yeah, it's going to be a big game, a big opportunity. Let's score some runs early, and let's have Brian Wu shut it down, and we can get into Matt Brash, Gabe Spire, Andres Munoz in the back of the bullpen, and hopefully won't even need all of them. Hopefully you can get 7 innings from Wu, and hopefully we can pull out a big-time dub. But that's all for today. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been episode 68 of On the Diamond Into the Deep. As always, I am your host, Mahal. See you next time. That will be tomorrow, but see you tomorrow for episode 69. As always, go Mariners, and peace.